Jigglypuff Link! Three, two, one, go! one, go!
Nice try. Rising slash! This'll hurt. Rising slash! Yeah. Let's end this! Yeah! Back!
Slap. Ridley wins. Start the battle. 3, 2, 1, go!
Ha! In the air! Ha! This'll hurt. Yeah. Try and keep up. Rising slash. Ha! Yeah! Ha! Let's end. Ha! Back. Yeah! 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 This'll hurt. Whoa! Ha! Try and keep up. Yeah! Yeah! Let's end this! Rising slash! Yeah! Rising slash! Let's end this! Ha! Try. Right! Yeah! This'll hurt. Yeah! Ha! Let's end this! Yeah! In the air! Don't touch me! Rising!
Slap. Ridley wins. Start battle. Pokemon Trainer Speed Roller. Three, two, one, go!
Like you got to mess with it. Okay. I can hear.
Around right before grand finals, and that actually helped me get booked for a comedy show just because the way in which that was framed was like straight out of a comedy movie. It was beautiful.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, I thought the commentary turned out very decent.
I think so. When I was commentating alone while you were running the brawl match with Rye Bread and Asian Glow, I was definitely very awkward on my own. Once you joined, it became significantly better in no time flat. So thank you again for that.
Yeah, no problem. It's not even like I really aim to do commentary, but I figure, if I go 0-2, might as well bring something to the tournament. Am I right?
Yeah. I like the idea of being able to do commentary. I know that I am very socially awkward, and, normally. So, as a bit of a disclaimer for anyone listening, I do bar comedy. You can be pretty unfiltered there. Obviously, I am going to try and show respect to Wilkes University and not say anything off the cuff on this mic. So as a result, I have to think things through a little more carefully. You're not going to hear me make a bad off-color joke about something completely irrelevant. And if you do, you're free to kick me out of the building.
We signed no such contract to get in here.
That's up to you.
What goes on, like?
Okay. Oh, that looks pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. With
It's
the
fine.
camera? Like, you want move this?
green screen. Yeah, it's
if,
fine.
If you come over towards me.
That works
Okay.
pretty well, yeah. Oh yeah, this is going to be our new Facebook profile picture.
Me with my Street Fighter shirt on. No parking. Violators will be destroyed.
I want to illustrate I almost never wear sweatpants out of the house, but I chose to today for whatever inexplicable reason.
I think it's your birthday. You get to do whatever you want to do. Happy birthday to Eric.
Thank
General
you.
Blue.
Thank you.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it was your birthday. Just like the circumstances of us hanging out today.
It was convenient. So normally I work in a warehouse, and it seems like the past few years I was inconveniently always having to get scheduled on my birthday. This year I was luckily enough able to dodge that. I had 3 days off in a row, this being right in the midsection. So that was a huge blessing right there.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's the one thing that scares me about getting signed into like some proper full-time job where they automate your schedule. It's just the inability to take days off as you need them for stuff like this.
You know, it's kind of funny. I'm actually a little surprised that this is happening today, if only just because, see, I went to school down in Kutztown before the pandemic, when they had no esports club to speak of, and it felt like the winter break always lasted just long enough for me to have my birthday, and then we would go back pretty much the following week. But I guess Wilkes is on a slightly different routine.
Are they back already?
Actually, are you guys back in class right now? You are.
Wow.
Okay.
It's only what, January 11th?
14th.
14th?
Yeah. Fun fact, I share a birthday with Benedict Arnold and LL Cool J. There is a website that exists that shows you any like celebrity, politician, historical figure, and unfortunately influencer who you share a birthday with. You don't have to put your exact year, just the day will suffice. Now, because of the prevalence of influencers nowadays, they tend to populate the top of the list. But when I saw Benedict Arnold, that's just hysterical to me.
Do you think a guy like Hitler is considered an influencer? I mean, he's like well known. I don't know if I'd call him a celebrity.
Well, I only know this because actually my best friend growing up had the same birthday. It's April 20th, which, as you know, has a much different connotation today. So
Yes.
I think the universe kind of balanced out the karma on that one. What's really interesting is that sometimes April 20th ends up being Easter Sunday. So, I mean, you know, use your own judgment on that one.
I know. What were they thinking with that? I can't fathom that.
It's weird. I'm pretty sure... I guess we're back. I can hear the game sound now. Perfect.
Okay, we're pumping now. Dude, it's hot, so high energy in here.
Absolutely. I'm loving this.
We're getting hyped for top 12 Ultimate?
Hey, Nipa knows how to put on a good show.
Yeah, absolutely. I showed up today thinking, like, this will be no breeze. I'll go 2-2. Nope. Couldn't even take us a game.
I do think the high pot bonus is contributing to that. They definitely brought out, like, their A game here today.
How much is it today?
I think there was, like, an additional 150 in the pot
I
or something.
thought it was something big. Yeah, 150
for
pot
Ultimate.
bonus.
And there was also an additional $50 bonus for Melee, which I think Melee only had 8 entrants, but they were all heavily capable. Now, I know that wasn't streamed. I'm going to give you all a quick summary. You see most of the usual top tiers. Like, I saw Falco, several Marts, several Sheiks, a Puff, and then one guy who was running Ganon and Kirby, which I respect tremendously. And the best part is he actually took a few sets. If you can win with... He used Lemon Skin Kirby, so the Magic Lemon was putting in good work today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And despite being shoved into the corner, I feel like it was a good turnout. I saw a lot of good energy among everybody. Like, the one guy was saying he actually practiced to come out to this. He wanted to make it count.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so here we go. We are going to be starting off Joe Fish and Mooch, Pac-Man and Puff. This is looking very high energy here.
Quite a match to get us started.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if they go aggro, this can be an absolute spectacle to watch. Because Puff tries to maintain good control of the air, but Pac-Man's different projectiles can wall that out effectively.
Well, I'm definitely looking to see if this Jigglypuff ends up using Pac-Man's items against him. I'm seeing a lot of good patience, kind of waiting for Pac-Man to come in.
Yeah, that was a solid combo right there.
Cannot exactly trap Pac-Man in the air. A little too floaty.
Oh,
Bell setup.
that was a beautiful idea there.
Yeah. I think if I were fighting this Jigglypuff, I would do something a little more proactive. I think just the bait of charging your projectile near her is enough to make her approach you.
Yeah. I like the idea of using the bell primarily, because if you can stun Puff, a single up smash should deal this at like above 60%, I think.
Yeah.
But the bell has a bit of a short and linear range, so it's difficult to rely upon that consistently.
And you know, the Puff just does not want to engage with catching these items. I don't blame her.
Yeah.
She has the air mobility to outmaneuver them.
Yeah, I think it's better to try drifting and then bob in. Puff has a small advantage so far.
Yeah. Not committing to anything. Poking in neutral and not committing to any conversions that doesn't seem like they're going anywhere.
Sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to just play it safe and conserve your energy. Because the more chip damage you can get in, especially with a floaty character like Puff. Now, just lost the first stock, but still at an advantage, yeah. You want to try and outpace it so that you have enough damage left over. If Pac-Man does get a combo like that, you're not sweating.
I like the smart usage of the shield, spacing around his grounded tools.
Agreed.
Again, not choosing to catch these items, just outranging Pac-Man and making him come to Jigglypuff. Joefish with a lot of good patience. Alright, what's the setup here?
I'm not sure. Pac-Man is struggling to hit with a projectile effectively. A lot of down airs I'm noticing.
I wonder if he has a good tool to launch Hydrant up in the air.
Maybe.
Maybe a reverse up air.
Yeah, having the Hydrant connect would probably take out Puff at this percentage. Oh, that was a good one, too. If they were timed a little differently, that could have been a good follow-up.
Well, I think the issue is just there's so much space, and the Jigglypuff is committed to shielding. So I wouldn't expect a surprise projectile to hit. This is a very solid game plan.
Ooh, nice hit.
Yeah.
Just barely enough.
Okay, and just like that, we're seeing this lead start to come down.
Yeah, Pac-Man hanging on that second stock for a good length of time here.
And Jigglypuff getting more aggressive, creating more openings for Pac-Man to get some hits.
Yeah, I think the aggression might be backfiring because now Pac-Man's landing the projectiles a little more often. The deficit's just building. All right, going to final stock.
Only 64% extra credit, definitely doable.
Doable, yes, but one or two good stray hits will end Puff here.
Well, like I said earlier, I think she has a very solid game plan. It's just avoiding those stray hits in scramble situations. See, she's waiting for him to throw the projectile.
Yeah. Using the Hydrant as a booster is a good strategy right here.
She does not have to engage. She has 2 minutes on that clock.
Yes.
I have never seen that. The slow key.
It was just enough. Puff Shield was depleted too much and poked her ear.
Oh,
that should... Oh, if that had been in... There wasn't enough time for an up smash.
Oh!
I'm surprised. How is Puff still living? That's amazing.
Apple hit the ledge.
I thought those last two hits alone would have finished it. That should do it. Up air.
Wow. Well played.
Pac-Man clean taking that one.
Looks like patience wasn't quite enough to do it there. Definitely some strong conversions off those stray hits.
Absolutely.
From Pac-Man.
is impressive because at the beginning of the game, Pac-Man was behind by quite a bit, but that was a good comeback.
Yeah. I definitely don't think this is a character issue, you know? I think this is very doable from both sides.
I believe so.
Start battle.
Alright, looks like we're staying the same characters for this. Makes sense. Probably their primary mains.
I think they just put on some Planet Robobot music.
1.
You love to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, very fitting. Despite Kirby not being here, there's 2 pink puffballs on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think we lost signal. Unfortunate.
El Gato. Gato.
Yes. El Inconvenience.
I think you were joking about that. Gato has to mean cat, right?
Of course it does. That was an old joke based around... I want to say it was the Trevor Wallace Yerba Mate skit from a few years ago. That's an energy drink that's primarily sold on the West Coast, I believe. It's based off some plant in Latin America. I don't know. I have a negative history with energy drinks, because when I was doing undergrad in Kutztown, I was using them pretty reliably. You know, while we're waiting for the set to get back, this is a serious rant I want to bring up. Why is it that energy drinks, you know, they're bad for your health if you drink them too quickly, or you have too many in a day, but almost all of them come in cans? You know, 5 Hour Energy did not trademark bottles and lids, so... I'm just saying, Red Bull, Mountain Dew Kickstart, I think Gatorade had an energy drink, Bang, Monster.
Are you saying the convenience of the can suggests that it's a regular use item?
Not saying it's a regular use item, I'm just saying if people need to use it to get through night shift or college classes, then you should at bare minimum let them seal it back up and use it again a few hours later without worrying that, you know, it's going to go bad.
Does it expire? I actually don't know.
Well, a 5 Hour Energy, you're supposed to drink it within 72 hours of opening the lid. I know that. I don't know what the procedure is for others.
I guess they figure if you need those 5 hours, you're not going to be waiting around taking it the next day.
Well, you gotta segment it. You know, use your time wisely,
Yeah.
as they say.
I mean, off the top of my head, I'm thinking, if I drink half of this, am I getting 2.5 hours of energy?
We should mod Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, where that's an item you can get in the barrel, or in the bottle, and when you do that, you take, like, 1 sip at a time, and it rewinds the in-game clock by an hour each time you do it.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
But you have to make it a thing that you can't possibly get it unless you... Like, you have to get it from an area that takes a significant amount of time to walk to, even if you use an owl statue. And then eventually some speedrunner breaks it, figures out you can go a little bit before the technical start point of the game, and you see, like, this weird rare enemy you never see before that gives you, like, immediate max rubies or something. Yeah. Workshopping. You can steal this idea. I am not trademarking anything.
You know, as bizarre as it seems, I think this could fit into an N64 era game. Epic Shaner. That's me. All one word, Epic Shane R. And then this is Blue Bev.
Yep, Blue Bev. Thank you. Yes. Looks good to me. Yeah, we're in charge of Schuylkill County, which is not at all an established region. It is functionally the midpoint between Central PA and NEPA, and if you want my opinion, that means if we have an event there, it should count as attendance in both of the regions, but because we're fairly small, I understand why it doesn't at this time. It's the way I understand the power regions in Pennsylvania, at least based on what's explained to me. In terms of strongest to weakest, it goes Philly area, Pittsburgh area, Central, NEPA, Williamsport, because they have their own server, Northwest, because I know there's events up in Erie. They don't seem to do them that often, though, and I don't know anyone who's been up there. And then below that, you have isolated rural stragglers, which is what we probably count as.
And I think that's such a shame, because we're not even too far from the other stronger regions.
Yeah, we really aren't. Like, we should, by all accounts, be a midpoint. I would actually like to give a shout-out to... Need to think all who was there. I know Quack, the TO, Who XM, and I think one other person, I don't remember who. They were at Rebirth 50 just outside of Reading last week. That's a pretty significant commute from this area, but they were going because they knew it was pretty important. That was fairly large. It was 30 people on a weeknight bi-weekly local that's not held in like a university or anything. It's just in a tabletop game shop. Now, there's about 30 people here tonight as well, but there's a significant pot bonus for this as well. Now, in terms of Schuylkill County, from what I understand, before the pandemic, there were a few card shops and tabletop game shops that had their own locals, but I was not able to personally attend those because, well, I wasn't too familiar with sLuGG or really the entire Smash meta of tournaments until the beginning of 2020 when Emperor Lemon released the Hungry Box documentary. That was how I found out about all of this. I still played Smash a lot before then, but I didn't really know enough of the competitive scene. And then these places had unfortunately closed down just a few months later, never really returning to tournaments. The few of them that did reopen just didn't bother attempting. There was one early in 2021 over in Minersville. They were like a pawn shop that was going to suggest doing it, but they didn't have, I think it was a week before the tournament was supposed to happen. They only had a handful of people sign up, so the guy canceled the tournament. And that was really a shame because you don't think about how many people sign up when there's only 24 hours remaining.
Yeah, and honestly, if I had to put myself in his shoes, he might be facing some kind of upfront venue fee that he has to pay to the person who owns the place. And so then if he's only seeing like 6 or 8 people sign up, he's not going to think that's worth it to him.
Yeah, I don't think the shop lasted much longer. They were transitioning primarily to online sales afterwards, and I believe they are closed now, or just a different business altogether.
You know, I think as, let's be real, this economy gets harder and harder, it's tougher on people. We need to rethink how we are handling tournaments as far as paying to enter and then what the prizes look like for people who win. I'm a big advocate for stretching out the prize pool to encapsulate more of top 8, if not even further. I think that if you're paying the money to not only enter, but to travel, so that's gas money. Who knows if you're carpooling or if you need to buy food because you're coming from far away. It is costly to do these things. I think if you place 5th and there's 20 people here, you should be getting some kind of money.
I'd agree with that. You know, I understand that if it's like a free-to-enter or almost free dorm tournament that it only has maybe 12 people, you know, I'm not too surprised when I see some events that say they'll only pay top 2. But I've seen regional-level events of about 64 entrants, or at least 50 entrants, that say they're only going to pay top 3. Like, that's absurd to even think about.
I agree. And I don't understand why there has to be such a discrepancy in prize money between 1st and 2nd place. I think the concept is, oh, well, you played the best, so you're going to win the most money. But in reality, if you look at the breakdown between winning a match that gets you 3rd place versus getting you 2nd place, it is exponential, the money that you earn by playing.
I'd agree with that.
And yes, it is certainly representative of the skill level, but I don't think it's fair to the people who place in that mid-range that still played really well, but they go home with nothing.
There may be somewhat of like a cultural reason behind that, and what I mean is, obviously, the competitive Smash scene really started with Melee, because even though the N64 game was popular, there weren't any like high-level tournaments at that time, and you know, Melee was only 2 years later anyway. If you do look up these really old recordings, especially in active regions like NorCal, SoCal, and MDVA, you'll hear them frequently say, you know, these were tournaments where, like, Mango, Mewtwo King, Wobbles, they were consistently getting the wins. I believe 1st place would usually get, like, 65 to 70%. And, you know, back then, when it seemed like there was no money involved, okay, I kind of get the idea. You think the winner should at least get something worth celebrating. But, I don't know. I feel as though with the esports scene now, there is enough attention that... My personal opinion is, unless it's like a fest that's basically anti-gambling laws in Japan, for example, so even like regional-level tournaments in Japan, players get almost nothing, which is a real shame, but they still do it for the love of the game, which is completely respectable.
Right. I do know some game shops, they try to follow those similar rules. They want to abide by Nintendo, and they want to be more kid-friendly, so they try not to introduce entry fees. They rely on something like prizes. That can work too. I think what matters at the end of the day is that you're not draining the people that show up to your event the most. You want to build a community, right? So then respect that community, help repay them.
Now, it's actually funny. Yeah, you told me about this, but neither of us were able to attend on that night. Our shout out to the Pottsville Library, because they were actually hosting a free Smash Ultimate tournament shortly before Christmas for anyone age 18 or under. Now, we are not, so we were not there, but I at least like to hope that that gave kids and teens an idea of what a competitive scene is like. Now, I don't know how strictly they follow the rules. Maybe they permitted some items, or maybe they didn't follow the stage list exactly. Hot take, but I do think that if someone... No, we're not doing the Brawl Yoshi's argument. I think Brawl Yoshi's is not that bad, but I understand why it's banned.
I think, we play it in Brawl.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I actually really like it in Brawl. But when it comes to Ultimate, I think those slants do way more in this game that leads to a feeling of being, cheated. Specifically in this game, because we don't have invincible ledge regrabs,
yeah,
you have to engage with disjointed, slanted down tilts and down smash.
Yeah, I can't realistically argue, if it was legal as, say, a counter pick, very few people would actually select it. I think that, if I'm correct on this, when Ultimate first dropped, it was a tournament legal stage for a little bit, but I think its time was very firmly removed when Hollow Bastion hit the scene, because having Smashville and Hollow Bastion legal, you can't really make an argument that we need Brawl Yoshis. It's functionally just the same ballpark once again.
Is it a hot take to say that I don't think we need Hollow Bastion? I think it's ridiculous that we have Smashville and Hollow Bastion. I'm banning one stage, and I'm getting taken to that same stage.
I see where you're coming from. Now, Hollow Bastion is bigger, so the characters can live a little bit longer, and I think that does help quite a bit. As far as... I think that's why a lot of tournaments will permit 3 bans and instead of 2, is the idea is just... it gives you the opportunity to axe both of them. I understand that Smashville, of course, being legal in Brawl, being arguably the best legal stage in Brawl, and in Smash 4, if you want my opinion on that, it would feel weird to remove it. Although, it's kind of ironic that Animal Crossing has 2 tournament legal stages in Smash when there's no combat to speak of in an Animal Crossing game.
You know what, you brought up Smash 4.
Yeah.
You just reminded me that Smash 4 had Battlefield and Dreamland 64 legal.
Yes.
So you had to ban both stages if you wanted to get rid of triplats.